NBA Friday. MVPs, past champions, teams that really think it's an important game in November. All the storylines here. Mike Tirico, George Karl, Tom Tolbert, Jim Gray's over there. He'll join us momentarily. LA's been great at home. 23 regular season wins in a row, all 8 this season. George, this is a team that it's November, but they've made a statement in the first month of the season.
At the beginning of the year, everybody talked about, is this a great team? And they're not dominating yet, but they are getting close. Dominating is around it. Their free throws, they're dominant. 5 of the last 6 wins have been by 20 points or more. This is a team that's right now seems to gel a little bit, and they're still not healthy.
In addition to this nice pilot.
Yeah, we didn't get that last year. We didn't get that last year.
What are you guys doing?
We got.
Tell me about the Thanksgiving.
We didn't have this last year. This is him.
Oh, okay.
This is him.
What about the champions here as they come in San Antonio tonight?
Nice and soft too, by the way.
Tell me about the Spurs.
Well, the one thing about the Spurs this year, they have constants. They play defense, they play hard, and they have Tim Duncan. The one thing they don't have from last year is offensive continuity. They're struggling with their shot. They don't have guys in the right places sometimes, and that you're going to expect with Turkoglu coming over, Nesterovic coming over, Mercer coming over. They got new guys, but you know what? I don't think Popovich is a coach that wants you coming out of the gate and leading in the first furlong. He wants you behind, sitting behind, let somebody else set the pace, and then you get better, and then take a playoff time.
It is something that has worked for him over the last few years. Shaquille O'Neal, the big question if he would play tonight, and as we look at our starting lineups, you will see that 34 is back in the middle after missing a couple of games because of the calf injury. Shaquille O'Neal will match up with the new free agent acquisition for San Antonio. For Minnesota, Rasho Nesterovic. Look forward to the Tim Duncan, Karl Malone match. Bruce Bowen's defense will be everywhere on Devin George, who's been very good this season. And we'll see Bowen on Kobe Bryant before the night is done. The backcourt matchup features the Lakers' 22.4 point per game scorer and Manu Ginobili, who's been great as a starter for the Spurs, and a great point guard matchup. Tony Parker, Gary Payton. For more on Shaquille O'Neal, we say good evening to Jim Graham.
Mike, good evening to you as well. I spoke to Shaquille O'Neal. He told me his calf is feeling much better. He received a tremendous amount of treatment the past 7 or 8 days. It was his idea. He told me to play tonight. Spoke to Gary Vitti, the Lakers trainer. He told me that the calf is good to go, but they're going to keep an eye on it in the early minutes. They'll just see how it goes. Everybody was on board. Phil Jackson telling us Shaq in a real good mood today that he's chomping at the bit to play the Spurs. Mike?
And with good reason, Jim. After all, the Lakers were eliminated on this floor in Game 6. Western Conference playoffs last year by Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs swept the Lakers all 4 regular season meetings last year. Lakers won as good a regular season game as we've had here in 2003's early going. Winning a double overtime game in San Antonio. No Duncan, no Parker for that game, but all hands on deck, including Shaq tonight, trying to get the Lakers a 24th consecutive regular season home win. All 8 thus far this season.
Well, I don't think any games, early in the season all that important. But you'd like to reestablish some dominance if you're the Lakers. If I can break it down into canine terms, the Spurs have been coming in here and peeing on their home court, is what they've been doing. The Lakers want to get that back and say, you know what, that's over. This is our court. We're the best team in the West. Let us show you tonight.
This has been the best matchup in basketball for the last 5 seasons.
Yeah.
The Lakers versus the Spurs. It's been the best matchup for 5 seasons.
The last 5 NBA championships won by San Antonio and LA. Bernie Fryer, our crew chief, talks it up. Gary Benson and Rodney Mott, they work the game tonight. The Lakers in the form gold will get going here with Karl Malone, watched by Tim Duncan. Into O'Neal. We'll kick it right back out. The Lakers continuing to fit the new pieces into the triangle. Shaq goes at Nesterovic, and Duncan comes away with the rebound. Duncan not yet 100% off his left ankle injury, but certainly more than serviceable, averaging his typical double-double. Here he is on Karl Malone. Nobody uses the window better than Tim, but couldn't convert that one.
Well, that was a nice job by Karl Malone. The last couple of years, when Karl was with, look out.
Nesterovic fouls O'Neal as Shaq early has gone to the basketball top.
Well, if you see him in that half moon with the basketball, it's either a trip to the line, a facial, or both. You see, he's just going to run right down the middle of the lane, catch the basketball right at the top of the half moon, and it's too late by that point. But with him, he's so big, you have a tough time keeping him from there. But in the last couple of years, it seems like Tim Duncan's really done a job on Karl Malone when he was in Utah. He just has a hard time, well, for that matter, anybody has a hard time matching up with Tim Duncan one-on-one. So not expecting him to be physical with him, use his body, and then look for some help.
I thought before the game, Phil Jackson talked about the Malone-Duncan matchup and the Payton-Parker matchup as kind of, he was intrigued by it. He looked like he was kind of interested in seeing where they were going to go.
Career 54% shooter, 50% this year at the line. 0 for 2 to start the game for Shaquille O'Neal. Still looking for the game's first points. Tony Parker cannot get them. And Gary Payton on the push. Kevin George left side. Bryant runs to the line on the right. Payton this side.
But both these teams are opportunistic breaking teams. They're not looking to get out and run for fast breaks, but when the opportunity is there, both of them will take it.
Starovich turned away by O'Neal. Out to Parker, who glanced up at the clock. He knows he has 8 to work on Kobe. Nice move at the top of the key, and the Starovich gets it after it came off the cylinder. So the 6th-year man out of Slovenia gets the first hoop of the game.
And that's what David Robinson did so well last year. He was play defense, hit the glass.
Gary Payton taking it into his own hands, squares the game at 2. Payton averaging 14.5 here in the first 15 games. LA at 12-3, best record out here in the Western Conference. Here out space for Duncan on Karl Malone. 0 for 2 off the window. Interesting to watch the Lakers in the half-court offense. Shaq demanding it with position, but couldn't handle it. As you would expect, missing a week plus because of the calf injury. O'Neal not as sure-handed here in the early going. Manu Ginobili, a great game in the double overtime loss by the Spurs at home to the Lakers. And here he is again. Ginobili went for a career-high 33 in that San Antonio setback.
Once he becomes consistent, he'll become an all-star. He has greatness in a lot of games. He just doesn't have that consistent factor in every night coming out and being great.
Malone got a little space to shoot. And the man, if he continues to average about a dozen points a game here for the next year and a half, will pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Gets the game squared at 4.
You got to watch him because he's a slapper. He wants to slap the ball before you get it up over your head, so you got to be cognizant of that.
Karl Malone picked up his first personal foul.
And when Duncan does such a great job of keeping it up, but watch right here. I mean, he's going to try to get it before he gets it above his waist. And if you can get it above Malone's head, then he's not really going to do a great job of contesting the shot, but he will do a great job of raking balls from you.
One more coming for Duncan. His team 9-6. Head coach Greg Popovich, I wouldn't say displeased with the way things have gone early on for San Antonio. A lot of parts had to fit in, with Duncan out because of his ankle injury, Parker out for his ankle injury, and so many new faces on this team here this year.
They actually have the identical record that they had last year at this time. They were 9-6 last year at this time, and they're 9-6 now. So I think Pop didn't show them a lot of concern.
Off the feet for O'Neal. Bryant hits his first jumper. Kobe's been shooting 47% from the field here in the first 15 games. A lot of bodies come to Ginobili, who hits it, and a foul.
I'm telling you, if you had degree of difficulty to his shots, he'd be averaging about 2 more points a game this year. Because he just makes some tough shots right here. Draws the contact, body fading away, flips it up. And he does this all the time. All the time. Just shots that look like there's no way of a chance to get to the rim, and he gets them in.
He covers a lot of space with 2 steps.
Yeah, he does. And he does a great job protecting the ball. I mean, people have watched football for the last 2 days. Watch Ginobili on one of these drives through the lanes. It's like he's protecting it on the way in. Payton able to avoid a 2-on-1 for San Antonio. Advantage LA, and George a 3. You know it's not a normal regular season game, and we haven't hit the first commercial, and the Staples Center's full.
That's very unusual here. Before Christmas?
Well, there's no rush hour traffic to complain of tonight. Everybody able to ease their way in without the normal freeway fiasco here in Southern California. There he goes, Ginobili protecting. Bowen loves the corner 3. That time he hit the side of the board. Bryant running out, back to Payton. 4-point Laker lead. On the switch from Sterovich trying to get open for a second, but O'Neal recovers. Duncan connects from the top.
Is there anything he can't do inside 17 feet? Maybe even 18? And we're talking leaners, runners, fadeaways, lean-ins. I mean, he's got more moves than maybe anybody this side of Kevin McHale down low.
Duncan's defensive help left Malone free. Carl couldn't make it. And Ginobili brings it up.
Of course, that one thing we knew about Kevin McHale is he would try all 24 moves before he'd pass it, too. I hated that. I'm like, I got you covered. Will you just pass it, please?
Devin George with the foul up high on Ginobili. It's his first foul, 3 on the Lakers.
And we talked about being opportunistic. The pass ahead and then keep trucking right down the middle. Kobe doesn't put it on the floor. Just a quick flip back and an easy deuce for Payton.
I'll tell you, one thing about the Lakers I've seen over the last couple weeks, they look like they're having fun playing basketball. Over the last couple years, winning 3 championships, the game got a little stale to them. It's gotten more life to it right now, and I think their body language, their facial expressions, just the way they play seems like they're enjoying it.
O'Neal, that foul, his first. 14 fouls, all one apiece. Ginobili comes to the line.
Well, they ran a pick and roll with Ginobili and Sterovich, and that's Shaq's man. And a lot of people would say if you're going to go up against Shaq, you should do that more and more, make him get on the perimeter and defend against pick and rolls.
Guys, when we talked to Greg Popovich before the game, thought he said something interesting. This is not the returning NBA championship team. He's said that a few times this season, but reiterated that point. And it kind of reminds these guys, look, there's no David Robinson. A lot of the guys, the Steve Kerrs, Steve Smith, the guys Danny Ferry, who are on the end of the bench, but so much a part of the team. Stephen Jackson, obviously, they're no longer here. For these Spurs, Devin George hits the hoop, gives the Lakers a 3-point lead. These Spurs that take the floor every night, Pop reminds them, almost kind of a little thing to prop him aside. You're not the defending champs. You guys didn't win it. The other group did.
He actually has done so much that he doesn't announce the team at the home games as the defending NBA champions. He took it out of the PA announcer's ability to do that.
Come on, you have coaches controlling the PA announcer. George, you never did that, I'm sure.
I didn't win a championship either.
Parker kicks it out to Ginobili. Plenty of time on the clock. He steps back and splash down.
Wow. You can't cover that one.
He seems to play better the bigger the game. He enjoys a big stage. 7 already for Ginobili.
He almost seems to shoot better the harder the shot.
Shaq comes across the lane. Drew 60% of the Spurs, and then Duncan will pick up the personal foul. 5.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Very good start both ways. Manu Ginobili. Degree of difficulty, tough. Degree of success, pretty high. 7 of San Antonio's first dozen.
Back to a lot of that game to score more points with this basketball team.
Horace Grant in for the Lakers when O'Neal came down. Parker comes down the lane. No Shaq there. He can attack it. Turkoglu gets the rebound. Fresh shot clock, so plenty of time for Parker. Didn't have to rush anything. Now got through the lane. See, no Shaq. Get there a lot easier.
Lakers got to get better defensively in the middle.
Well, who's in the middle now for him? That's the question. Who's going to defend the bucket?
Grant saw Malone cutting. Right idea. Wrong time.
Here's Gary cutting off the basketball. Malone, a great passer, cuts down, gets a wide open, easy layup. Unfortunately, they gave the same wide open, easy layup at the other end of the court.
And Greg Popovich takes time out.
Trying to get off the snide. They'd lost 14 straight. T-Mac late to kiss off the glass. Could it be the night? I don't think so, Bill. Because
no, I don't think so either. I know it has buzzer's luck, and Vince Carter just hit a big shot. But why is Lou taking the last shot?
Because they're a bad basketball team right now, Bill.
Tyronn,
so.
This is the shot late. 87-86, your final score. Vince has 20. Meanwhile, the Indiana Pacers just overwhelmed the 76ers to move to 14-2. They are rolling. Let's roll on back to L.A. and Mike Tirico. Mike?
All right, Kevin, the guys down there at Times Square. 14-2, the
In that shot all day. He got so good because he worked at it.
Gary Payton missed. Hedo Turkoglu, former Sacramento King, comes down with the rebound. Turkoglu, Malik Rose, Parker, Mercer, and Duncan, the 5 on the floor for the Spurs. Malone, he gulps the rebound, along with Grant, Devin George, Fisher and Payton for LA. And here's Grant from the outside.
Thinking Duncan might touch the ball this trip down the court.
Turkoglu sends it his way. The double. Turkoglu travel.
Boy, that wasn't steps.
I want to know who was a better basketball player, Bernie Fryer or Leon Wood, the two referees. Bernie played when I was playing. Leon played when you were playing.
Leon was at Fullerton when I was at Irvine.
Yeah.
When I was sitting in Irvine, actually. Oh, good position.
Malone inside, gets the hoop. 7-point lead as Bryant and Shaq sit. Wood, of course, on the '84 Olympic team.
Tell you what, Carl's dangerous to guard down low, too, because he leads with those elbows.
Turkoglu get a clean catch, but got in the lane. No travel called that time, and first field goal for the fourth-year man out of Turkey. We approach a minute left in the first. Lakers leading by 5. Derek Fisher struggling with his shot from the outside a little bit. Fisher has an adjustment. Everybody's looking at how the guys are going to share the ball with their shots. Fisher, the adjustment from being a starter back to coming off the bench and being a role player. Duncan on the kick out to Mercer. Nope. Good energy from LA. Oh, attempt by Payton, but that's last off of San Antonio toe.
This is a Utah Jazz play run by the LA Lakers. The Utah Jazz used to run that play a million times. Seal you, you get too high, nice pass, layup. You're dead. You're out to lunch. You can't get anything done.
I just make sure I get my face out of the way. Because when he leans in, it's elbow first. And if you don't watch your nugget, you may be taking a short trip to the dentist.
Grant slipped down but couldn't get the ball as Tim Duncan takes it away and comes back the other way. 3 seconds the difference between the first quarter game clock and the shot clock.
Did you notice Tim just put it behind his back there? Just show he could. Just dribble it up, put it behind my back real quick. I think guys love doing that stuff. They don't get to do it very often.
So a nice screen there on Fisher. Parker waited for Grant to commit, but he stayed on the ground. Shot clock at 1. Offensive foul as Parker wrapped his arm around Derek Fisher. Good job by Grant. His interior defense started that sequence.
I think what's interesting between the two teams is San Antonio, to become a championship team, is going to have to improve offensively. For LA to become a championship basketball team, they're going to have to improve defensively. And they're both in that mode right now of improvement, getting better on a daily, weekly basis. But they're different. They're different ends of the spectrum right now.
Brian Russell comes in to trigger here. Final 4.7. Fisher looks for space. Good if it goes. Yes! A 3!
Hated that shot going in at the end of the quarter.
They're going to check it on replay. 1 to see if it was good, and 2nd to come back and see. I think his foot may have been on the line in a 2, but it was definitely good in time. Out of his hand before the lights come on, and his foot was on the line. So that will be changed to a 2. Here as the quarter comes to an end.
Jumper. Mavs down by just 3, but then Marcus Camby?
Yeah, Marcus Camby, he's been playing up a whale of a storm this year with the putback big bucket.
Yeah, and that's a whale of a storm. 14 rebounds, I'll tell you that.
Playing well. Antoine Walker's still having a hell of a season for the Mavericks.
Wow, you might have to wash your mouth out with soap tonight. 56-30, meanwhile, the Kings in charge against the Rockets. Let's head back to Mike in Los Angeles.
Impressive from Sacramento, guys. Of course, no Dirk Nowitzki out with the ankle injury for Dallas. Still in all, Denver looking for win 9. They won only 17 all of last year. Carmelo Anthony paired with LeBron James so often. The numbers production-wise been a little bit of an advantage for LeBron, but Carmelo's team, the little bit better team right now, playing better basketball.
Well, the one thing that always jumps out at me when I look at LeBron's numbers is regardless of what his shooting was, he always has 7 or 6 rebounds, 7 or 6 assists.
O'Neal sends Ginobili to the deck. Medvedenko pitched it back to Kobe, who is feeling it. Rebound by Jason Hart. Marshall Nesterovic back in. So Nesterovic, Turkoglu, Ginobili. Jason Hart took it all the way. Wasn't going to try it that time with O'Neal there, but will take the open jumper. Jason Hart, who was working out, trying to hang around Houston, see if he could make that roster, just released there. And all the injury problems with Anthony Carter, Alex Garcia, hit San Antonio. Bryant turned away. Russell tried to draw the foul. Turkoglu didn't get it. Nice job by Derek Fisher defensively. And a foul call on Medvedenko. Well, Manu, you guys mentioned, takes it into the lane with reckless abandon.
Well, right back out with reckless abandon as well. But you know what? That will not faze him. He'll go right back at him.
Bryant, the defensive assignment on the Argentine. His shot over O'Neal. Medvedenko kept it alive. Jason Hart gets it with a fresh shot clock.
Well, Medvedenko not only been shooting well, but he's been hitting the boards and running. And that's one of the things that I think Phil wanted to see from him last year. Play defense, get some rebounds.
And Marshall Nesterovic makes the jumper. Robert Horry with the assist as the former Laker is coming to the lineup for the first time tonight against his old team. He's going to help Nesterovic on O'Neal. Turkoglu came with the assistance, and Horry cleans the glass. Nice little thumb in the open faucet here for San Antonio, trying to stem the Lakers' run, get it back to single digits. Nesterovic measures up Shaq. Didn't fit.
Too long to make the move there. The whole defense was able to collapse.
Fisher in rhythm. Triple. High. Stiff arm.
Yep. Kind of helped him go by.
All four of the big guns out there for LA with Derek Fisher. Horry shoots over Malone.
Oh, you'll give him that one all night.
Shaq there for his fourth rebound. LA 18 boards. San Antonio 18 as well. Bryant hangs in the air for a long time. Still says he's not 100%. After coming off the knee and shoulder injuries from last year. Tony Parker, first shot since he came back into the lineup, and the loose ball foul on Horry as he got a piece of Kobe. Tony Parker is 1 of 7 from the field here tonight.
One thing Gary Payton has brought to the game is a little fast break, push, shove, and he can make the 12-footer when he's not covered. I look like a halfback out there a little bit.
Yeah, a little vet move right there. Just kind of help him go by.
How do referees miss out?
Is that a foul?
Yeah, I would think so.
Was it a foul when he played for you?
No, it's okay.
Malone misses. And Payton is fouled that time by Manu Ginobili. Gary promised to have a little conversation, as is his want normally during the game. He and Manu Ginobili really got into a verbal back and forth in the double overtime game in San Antonio back some 3 weeks ago.
He's really good. His trash talking is very, very good. He's top 5.
He's first ballot Hall of Fame trash talker.
He's very, very good.
Bryant took Bowen, drew the defense. Malone drew the foul on Duncan, who hit the deck hard and is shaken up. The foul was on Tim, but he's the one who took the worst of it. Greg Popovich, unhappy that his star is the one who's hurt, and somehow he picked up the foul. And now they will come out to check on him. Duncan holding his head, not sure if it was hit by someone or if it hit the floor. Let's take a peek here.
Where you're going to watch him jump and the elbow just hits him right. It looks like right in the temple. And I said earlier, he leads with his elbows. And if you get too close, you're going to catch one of those things. And I'm sure Popovich is arguing, why is that a
sprained right calf? 0 of 3 from the field. 3 personal fouls. So that's meant more time for Horace Grant. signed this summer. Of course, Grant set out most of 2003, had that fallout right around this time last year with Doc Rivers in Orlando. I'm going to give it one more chance to grab one more ring. He has 4, 1 here from LA and 3 from the first Chicago run, 93 to 95. So another defensive 3 seconds. Another technical foul coming up here on LA.
Scoreboard. Scoreboard call.
Scoreboard calls? You love those scoreboard calls.
I hate scoreboard calls. We have to explain that someday to the fan what a scoreboard call is.
You know, I asked you a couple of weeks ago and you did, but I think I've got it down.
It's easy.
When it's a 14-point game, you're down 14, you're more likely to get the defensive 3 seconds than if it was a 3-point game.
Or a 20-point lead, you're more likely to get a...
You're more likely to get a lot of things.
There's a tendency to come back.
That's not the way it works, George. Ask an official. I'm sure you've done that several times.
Ask a coach.
1 to shoot for Duncan, and after 2 unsuccessful shots off the backboard in the first quarter, he makes 1 there. It's 11 with 2.5 to go before halftime.
Well, if the Spurs can make a little run here and get this thing down to 6-7, you'd have to think, hey, we played a horrible first half. They played well, and we're right where we want to be in striking range.
Duncan still out there on Malone after taking the shot from the elbow last time. 5 to shoot. Payton shakes the double with the dribble. Grant, whoa, I thought he got some air there. Apparently not. So did Popovich. Duncan tried to hit Ori. That pass is incomplete. It'll be second down.
No, that was air for Horace Grant.
Oh, it was?
Curveball.
Thank you. Saturday and Sunday, there'll be plenty of NBA action, including a good game here Sunday with the Pacers and the Lakers. But the Staples Center crowd entertained here on Friday night. The defending champion Spurs. A good test back-to-back here for LA. They've played not as many tough games in the last couple of weeks.
The Lakers have gone to a dribbling offense
On Devin George, who took the worst of that collision with Robert Horry.
They're much more effective when they're passing than dribbling.
Well, NBA TV, tomorrow night you'll see the Minnesota Timberwolves and Kevin Garnett take on Dallas, perhaps coming off that Denver loss. And TNT's doubleheader, Bulls 76ers on Thursday, and Lakers Mavericks will be the back end of that. Chance to see Scott Skiles, one of his early games as the Bulls head coach. Duncan climbed across the lane. Devin George pulls down the rebound. Kobe's open, bottom of your screen for a second, but Bruce Bowen shuts that off. Bryant fought through. Nice job by Kobe to lose the defender.
Each other out. And it's going to be the young Parker, young Ginobili versus Payton and Bryant, where probably the outcome's going to be determined.
How good was that pass from Karl Malone to Gary Payton?
You know what it reminds you of? It reminds you of watching Divac and Brad Miller and Chris Webber up in Sacramento, the way Payton's cutting off Malone and Malone's finding him cutting to the bucket.
Gary's been getting like 1 or 2 of them a game in the last couple of weeks. He's learning to move without the basketball.
If you're at guard and you know your big man's looking for you, you're going to cut. You're going to make that effort to cut and keep your head on a swivel.
Karl Malone has 7 assists here tonight, thanks to our stat man, Marty Aronoff. Good hands from Malone, knocked it away. He's bodying up here on Duncan, forced him to give it up. Ginobili, Hart in the air, Payton on the push. Devin George is a good finisher as well. That time he ran to the line for the 3. Ginobili does a nice job of keeping it alive, and it's a free 2 for Bowen. Back to 14.
So everybody really hustling to get down there and take the ball out, aren't they? I mean, come on, fellas. A little bit of hustle. Nah, I don't want to do it. You do it.
Quick delivery to O'Neal. No time for the double team to come over as Shaq attacked the basket. And the foul is called there. All right, did you see that pass from Karl Malone a moment ago? Let's get another look at that one.
Well, when you're a guard, you're going to cut hard to the bucket. Look at that. He drops it out there. And the key is he doesn't throw it at Payton. He throws it out in front of Payton and just drops it. And Payton runs under and gets it and able to make the layup. Look at that. 8, 8, and 7. That's a nice night's work.
Not one of the prettier O'Neal misses. I mentioned Shaq's free throw percentage right around 50 thus far this season. And he missed them both there. He's 2 of 6 tonight. You talk about working on it, getting better, improving. He's just around a 50% free throw, so a little bit above 50%. And you can't see it getting much better. He's worked on it. Parker, he was trying to make a decision on how to lose O'Neal. He
Nice
couldn't.
outlet.
To Payton, to George, to the hoop. For 3.
That's an example of an in-out game caused by penetration. Payton drove it right to the paint and threw it out for the 3.
Nice story on the Kia NBA shoot-around about Devin George as the 5th Beatle in many regards. And boy, his confidence is what Tom mentioned in the first half. Really looks like a much different player this year. Payton spinning and twirling. Drives the shot. Bang in the bucket. Well, it is November, but the Lakers are playing with the enthusiasm of April.
Oh, look out. The buttocks.
Shaq now 2 of 7 from the line. Lead up to 19. The foul on Nesterovic was his 4th personal foul. And people have talked about what will the difference be without David Robinson and with Rasho Nesterovic. 3 tries there. Duncan's pass from Nesterovic. Off his hands, and back comes Payton like a track meet. Kobe, triple. San Antonio timeout. Lakers. Parker's going to blow off the timeout. He should have taken it. Pops his hands in pocket. Kobe wants another one. O'Neal, eyes wide open, smiling. Gosh, are they having fun? Gary Payton. Now the timeout's coming.
All over the place, all different kinds of angles.
Nesterovic rebounds the Parker miss. Ron Mercer, hand check call on Gary Payton. Get both hands on him. That's an automatic easy call. 3 on Gary Payton.
How do you see that one?
He's just feeling it right now. He is absolutely feeling it. See his little yellow amongst the contrasting black? Boom.
It ties Carl's career high for assists with 10. Shaquille O'Neal comes to the bench. 24 minutes, 7 points thus far.
Wow. They don't get any easier than that, do they?
No.
Payton finds Devin George. Malone for a triple-double. Rebound by George. See, to all that timer on John Stockton, it's rubbed off. Parker thought he had all ball. But he's whistled for the foul.
I think maybe he knows he has 10 assists because as soon as he got that 10th assist, he shot the next time. So, you know, I got 10 now. Let's go ahead and round this thing out.
This is career high. He doesn't want to go any higher than that.
Robert Horry watching his old team do a lot of the things, and he was wearing the purple and gold that he was a part of. This Laker team looks like the Laker team we saw back in 2001, 2002 during their back-to-back world championships. Parker tried a little teardrop coming through the lane. No Shaq there. Those shots open up. San Antonio's done that tonight, but that's about it. Down 28 as we approach 3 minutes here in the third. LA looking to improve its best in the West record. Trying to get to 13-3. Here's Malone. That's a triple-double. 4th time in Karl Malone's career, a triple-double, and it's all even now. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists.
That's a nice line. I wish I could get that one time.
You know what? He's got 11 rebounds. And he got the last rebound down there on that ugly miss before. Slapped that one out, but Devin Brown kept it alive. Fresh shot clock. And the second-year man at Texas San Antonio creates the foul on Devin George. Certainly was the impactful NBA story of this week. Alonzo Mourning, the career that started in Charlotte, thrived under Pat Riley in that defensive style in Miami, and just a month here with the Nets, and forced to retire as his kidney ailment continues to deter him. Really, you know, Shaquille O'Neal is often talked about with David Robinson, some of the other big guys, but in the draft, they were 1-2 back in 1992. And, you know, they had some battles, although infrequent because of the opposite coast. But in the early days in Orlando, when Mourning was in Charlotte, those two guys went head-to-head a bunch of times. And O'Neal had a nice comment on the departure of Alonzo. Family and life and health more important, obviously, than basketball. And that's obviously the sentiment all of us extend our best wishes to Zoe. But certainly a tough situation that the Nets will have to deal with here for a variety of reasons. One, on the floor, and second, financially as well.
I mean, he was a ferocious competitor. Night in and night out, every minute he was on the court, he competed, and he competed hard. Now, if you don't have Mutombo anymore, you're missing in the middle. Boy, he's playing well. But
well, some of the dunks of the night, as the Lakers have had their share of dunks in a 92-62 30-point lead. Shaquille O'Neal has not had many field goals on the night. First game back after the calf injury, but gets up there for one of the Laker dunks. Yep. Victory at Staples Center. They've won 2 against San Antonio this year. 2 more meetings between these teams coming up. But an impressive showing from the Lakers. Spurs hadn't lost a game by more than 8 points until tonight. Karl Malone, a triple-double as the Lakers have won 24 consecutive regular season home games. All 9 here in the 2003-2004 season. Well, I hope you all have an enjoyable rest of the Thanksgiving weekend. Thanks for spending some of it with us, with Jim Gray, Tom Tolbert, George Carl, Mike Tirico. Thanks to our crew, and thank you for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Sports Center is next. Good night from the Staples Center.
On November 6th, no Tim Duncan or Tony Parker. They were both out with ankle injuries. Manu Ginobili stepped up, a career-high 33-12, but Shaq had 35-20. Lakers won in double overtime. Back to Friday, first quarter. Kobe Bryant, entry pass to Shaq. Back to Kobe. You'll have to trust me on this. Lakers up 1. Second quarter, Ginobili the drive, Shaq the block. Third quarter, GP to O'Neal. This one good for 2. Make it 3. Later in the third, Karl Malone. What a night for the mailman. Loose ball. Gets it, finds Devin George. George had 19. He led L.A. in scoring. The mailman, his 4th career triple-double. 10 points, 11 boards, 10 assists, 103-87. The Lakers blow out the Spurs. Greg Anthony, your thoughts?
Steve, on Friday night, the Los Angeles Lakers completely dominated the San Antonio Spurs. Offensively, defensively, and all of the intangibles that great basketball teams are able to display at the moment of truth. This was a statement game for the Lakers. They made it personal. They came out and they entirely took apart this San Antonio Spurs basketball team and probably wrecked their confidence heading towards the second half of this season.
NBA Friday, Pacers looking for their 8th straight win, hosting Allen Iverson and the 76ers. Pistons leading scorer Chauncey Billups only 8 points against Indy, 3 of 17. Carmelo Anthony, Nuggets leading scorer, only 2 points against the Pacers, 1 of 13 shooting. Indy can D up. Howard Iverson do. Halfway through the first quarter, draws the double team, can't get it to go. Early third, Jermaine O'Neal's pass, intercepted by Iverson, and again, can't get it to go. Air ball. Iverson, a season-low 12 points, 4 of 19 shooting. The final seconds of the third, Fred Jones reversing himself, his only hoop of the game, and we showed it twice. It's a good percentage.
University of Oregon.
Nice, thanks for getting that in. Early fourth, Al Harrington finds O'Neal underneath. O'Neal had 21. Indy has won 8 straight at home. They are doing it with defense, 90-77. Cavaliers taking their 30-game road losing streak into Detroit. Paul Silas's team looking for that first road W of the year. LeBron spots Ricky Davis. James had 7 assists. Davis had 25 points coming back from that quote-unquote suspension. Later in the first, Ben Wallace for Richard Hamilton. Hamilton 22 in the first half. Fourth quarter, Ricky Davis hits LeBron, but James, his worst game as a pro. 6 points, 2 rebounds, only 2 of 8 shooting. Hamilton comes right back. Detroit within 1. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. LeBron got to get it up there. Not so much. Paul Silas, get Ira Newbell in there for LeBron. But hold on, you got to get a timeout first. Play continues, and there's LeBron trying to guard Tayshaun Prince. Prince will get position and tip the Chauncey Billups in, 2 of his 12 points. LeBron with some defensive issues. And the Pistons take a 1-point lead. There it is. Cavs hanging around, though. They're down 3. LeBron comes out on the bench. He'll learn. Here's Ricky Davis. Need a big shot. Well, that wasn't it. Ensuing possession, 30 seconds left. Hamilton off the glass. Rip Hamilton. Elbow fine. Hit a career-high 44. Cavaliers have lost 31 straight road games, 92-88.